All right, welcome to this new series on Ramayana. So let me begin with what this series is about. So this series will talk about Ramayana, which is a Hindu scripture written long back. We are looking at the Wikipedia page for Ramayana. So just to give some background, this was written around 8th to 4th century BCE, which is roughly 2,500 years back. It's a story about a king or a prince who was sent by his father to live in forest for 14 years. Then his wife gets kidnapped by an evil person called Ravan. His wife Sita gets kidnapped, and then he takes help from Sugriv, Hanuman, who are monkeys, and then finally they are able to rescue Sita. So I have learned this story when I was a kid, and I'm teaching my kids the story. So I have learned the story or saw the story on a TV series called Ramayana by Ramanand Sagar. Let me quickly open that. This was a 1987 TV series when I was in first grade. Then this TV series was being shown. So before that, I also read it. I had a book by Amar Chitrakatha. So I read it over there as well. And then I saw it on the TV series. It's a total 78 episodes. And we used to have it every Sunday morning 9 a.m. Very, very popular, one of the most popular TV series in India, which we are watching with my kids these days, enjoying it a lot. Another thing which I have started doing is started reading the books, the actual books from which this TV series and other derived books are written from. The original Ramayana was written by a poet named Valmiki. This was the original Ramayana that was written around 2,500 years back at the minimum. Still, there are some debates that it could be even older than that, but it's scientifically proven it's at least that much old. So there was supposedly a poet named Valmiki at that point of time, and he wrote this. After in last 2,500 years since the original Ramayana was written, there have been many other derived works that other poets and authors have written. So the other one that we are reading, or I am reading, is called Ram CharitManas. This is a recent work written by another Indian poet, Tulsidas, in around 1500 CE, which is just 500 years back. I mean, I say just, but it's still like 500 is a long time. But compared to the original one, which is 2,500, this is a recent version of that same story. This is more easy to read. Ram CharitManas, Ramayana, is written first of all in Sanskrit language, which most of the folks these days do not really know. We know, like I know very, very little of Sanskrit. I probably know 1% of Sanskrit. So if I'm reading a shlok from the original Ramayana, I would understand perhaps 1%. Ram CharitManas instead was rewritten in a language called Awadhi, which is very similar to Hindi, but still different. But I could understand probably 50% or even more than that when I'm reading Ram CharitManas in original Awadhi language, because it's very, very similar. Most of the words are same or similar. So these are the two books that I'm currently reading, and will be teaching my kids as well. So this YouTube series will go a little bit deep on how to, it's more of a guide, how to read these books. Because these are not easy books to read. As we can see, there are 10,000 verses in Ram CharitManas. Every verse, even if it takes a minute to read, it's like 10,000 minutes. It's when people read, there are many ways to read Ram CharitManas. Like people read it in once, like just the whole read in one shot. If somebody does that, that's I think called a khand part. It takes around a day or 2 days to read the whole Ram CharitManas, which is the khand part. There are other easier ways to read. There is something called Mas Parayan, where you can read it in a month, and I think there is something on 7 to 10 days you can read. To read on a month, you could have to read like 2 to 3 hours every day. So that's where I am trying to understand myself. I'm reading it for the first time, by the way, myself. So I'm learning and teaching at the same time. And that's what I'll share on this YouTube channel. Second is Valmiki. Valmiki is even bigger than the Ram CharitManas. Valmiki Ramayana, this Ramayana has 24,000 verses. So as you can see, it's like 2.5 times bigger than Ramayana. So again, this series is going to be going through how to read these two big giant books, and also my take on some of the things that I read over there. So hopefully you will like this series. Do let me know in the comments section below, and remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Alright, thank you. Bye.